The Pedestrian is a game. For every must-play game in my backlog, the Kingdom Hearts-es, the Shadow of the Colossus-es, the Outer Wilds-es, oh wow, how convenient they all ended in S. For each of these, there's also titles that typically aren't discussed as much, and also they're typically not as long. I'm more willing to spend some time on something a bit more niche if it's not going to require a huge commitment. Sometimes it can be hard to justify one of these games taking up a slot on a backlog. They're hardly ever notably good or notably bad. They're just released to minimal attention and hype, not the grandiose bang of an instant classic like Expedition 33, nor earning the ire of a disappointment that self-destructs upon release. Rather, their release is comparably much quieter, raising the question, what makes me want to put them on the backlog in the first place? This is the case for The Pedestrian, the game I want to talk about today. The Pedestrian was released in 2020 and it's a simple 2D puzzle platformer. Relatively simple in premise, the presentation is mostly what elevates the game overall. While the idea of having small rooms that can be connected together in various ways makes for a simple base, presenting it as the little man that you can see on street signs adds a lot to the overall feel of the game. These simple geometric levels are surrounded by realistic looking environments, serving as an interesting framing device. Beyond this framing though, the game is very simple. It should only take a few hours to complete, though some of the later puzzles are actually pretty tricky, since they often require you to keep track of multiple paths at once. And that can get pretty taxing since that's a lot of info to store in your mind's RAM, if you forgive the metaphor. They iterate on their idea well enough, and the platforming feels good enough. The presentation is nice enough. It's all enough to be satisfying, without ever really entering the territory of exceptional, and that's fine. There's a reason every game shouldn't be a 10 out of 10, 40+ hour masterpiece, and it's the same reason a movie can't be 90 straight minutes of fight scenes. If it's all peak all the time, that's just flat ground, dude. You need the games that are a little more average, more run-of-the-mill, more pedestrian, if you would. Games like this are actually important. I think the best way to play this game might be doing so while listening to a good podcast or video essay and getting into a serious flow state. It's a good palate cleanser between games, like how they smell coffee to reset their palate. It's like that. It's a reset between big titles. For me, it's the bridge between Bloodborne and the next big game I play. It's small, self-contained, entirely competent from start to finish. The puzzles get just tricky enough to not be boring for its runtime, and also never really overstays its welcome. I'd recommend it. Maybe if it's on sale or something at any point, pick it up and give it a shot. It's not some must-add to your own backlog or anything, but I added it to mine since it looked interesting, and I can tell you I didn't regret the short time I spent with this game at all. Not every game on your backlog should be amazing. It's okay for some of them to just be good. Thanks for joining me for this very quick video. If you've played The Pedestrian, let me know what you think of it. Like, subscribe, etc., and have yourself a good one.